Good morning and welcome to the Oasis Center for Spiritual Living, where we come together as one, providing spiritual tools for daily living. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Tucker. I'm the senior minister here at the Oasis. And the team that I have now consists of the adjunct music team and the wise and powerful Oz, my partner in crime. Let me get him up here. Oz has been in my life since 1998. I can't even believe that. It's just been so long. But he was my first baby practitioner, meaning he took all of his classes with me, except for one. He took it Mile High, and then became my board president and was that for a very long time. And then moved off to Florida, and we lost the ability to have him in the service itself. But when we went live for the pandemic, I said, "Hey, would you be willing to be practitioner of the day?" And he said, "Sure." And here we are 6 years later. I don't think either one of us knew it was going to last this long, that he would be practitioner of the day almost every single week. But we just don't have anybody else that, I don't know.
No.
Well, I mean, there are people that show up, but I trust you. I don't trust everybody, especially with my service. So anyway, and so what a practitioner of the day does is they do the invocation, the benediction, and they're available at the end for the 1-minute miracle. And I will talk about that a little bit later, but it is a pleasure to have Oz on my team anyway, or I should say God's team. God has provided me a wonderful team, actually. So thank you for being here, Oz. All right. And then there is, like I said, the adjunct music team, which is Reverend Fairy Lane Silver. As soon as we went live, she asked us to do her music on Sunday. And so we do. And because I think me just as a talking head for an hour is just, I don't know. I don't like it. I like the idea of the whole service. So since we don't have a soloist, we at least have that music. And then Karen Drucker, who gifted us her entire collection at that time in 2020, was 20 CDs worth of material. And she gives us karaoke files and songbook. So we have the lyrics. So when we do have a soloist, we can at least do those songs. But in the meantime, we have recorded music from when we had a choir. And then but they don't appear on camera. The only one that appears on camera is Albertina Giuffre, and she was our soloist from 2000 until about 2021, when her ex-husband passed away, and she was getting the house ready for sale, and she's still working on it. So she only appears during what she calls the crying season, which is Mother's Day, Father's Day, and Memorial Day. And then 2 weeks for Advent at Christmas time. So Tina will be joining us probably for the Advent series this year. All right. I'd like to invite you to, there is a watch party button that you can use to invite all your friends so they can see what kind of Sunday service to expect. And you can answer any of their questions because it's more like a private chat. So definitely hit that watch party button and invite all your friends. I'd like to invite you now to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Allow the service to uplift and inspire you as we move into our centering song.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Presence of God is always right here, right now. For God, as we conceive of it, is truly infinite, is truly ever present, and is truly all powerful. And you add those things together, that means that God is everywhere, for all time, in all places. So therefore, God must be here, right now, and in each of us as well. For we are within that greater being we call God. We are one with it. There is no place that God is not. And he's right here, right now, in each of us. And we know that God's blessings and that infinite power for creation is here right now at our disposal, or to see what we can do with it. It's a good thing. And it can be a very good thing. As we believe, so shall it be. And these things are good and very good as we allow them to be. Right now, I accept the blessings of God through the course of our service, and I know that this is good and very good. And I give thanks that these things are also. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. All right. If you're here, please say hi, hello, good morning, however you want to greet us. When we're in a facility, I look out and I see the shining faces beaming back at me. Here, I don't get any of that. I get a number. I don't even get names. I don't know who's here or who's not here. So please say hi, hello, good morning, however you like. If you're joining us later, just say hi. Just let me know that you were here. We like to know who our audience is. Now, this next song is one that Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver wrote for her practitioner training. And it is a really good reminder of how connected we really are.
We are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. I hear it and know it, my being. Spirit is all I am seeing. For God is all there is. Grateful am I to be living, open to what I have seen, honoring what I've been given, sharing now what I believe. I remember the oneness around me. I surrender to infinite light, knowing the love that's surrounding me is within me by day and night. And we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it. Yes, we are all one. We are all one. We are all one in it.
Yes, we are all one in it. All right. If you're just joining us, say hi, hello, good morning, however you'd like to greet us. In a facility, I can look out and see the shining faces beaming back at me. Here I get a number. I don't even know who's here. So please do that. If you're joining later on, say hi. Just let me know. Drop a line that says you were here. If you like something that you hear, use that thumbs up. And if you love something, send us hearts. We love to get love. And if something strikes you as powerful, that I'm on track, hit the wow button. Let me know. that feedback is really important to me because I do like to know when I'm on track. Not that I don't feel it. Sometimes I do, but sometimes I wonder if I'm reaching everybody else's reality or not. So definitely do that. All right. So we are doing a series based on my book, 10 Weeks on the Road to Prosperity. Last week was the first week where we took an inventory, because you need to, even if you're, traveling somewhere, you need to put in the GPS where you are right now, and then, where you want to be. So the inventory was supposed to let us know where we are in terms of prosperity. You listed out all of the places where you get income and how much it is. And then on the other side, you listed all of your expenses. But before you did that, there was 10% to you, because what usually happens with almost everybody is we spend our money, and we pay bills and we do all of this stuff, and if there's money left over, we use it on ourselves. Well, let me share with you that in that mentality, chances are there will never come a day when you have plenty of money for yourself. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give ourselves that 10% off the top on paper, and actually, create bank accounts for it. But it's money you have to use on yourself, nobody else. You can't save up for somebody's vacation. You can't save up to give a gift to somebody. No, this is money for yourself, whether that's massage or spa treatments or a vacation for yourself, or a boat if you're one of those people that likes to be on the lake all summer long. Something like that. But you must spend it on yourself. Then there's 10% to God. Now, I know a lot of people have resistance to the whole tithing thing. Tithing is actually biblical. What they used to do in the olden times is they would take 10%, the top 10% of their crop, and take it to the temple as an offering and reinvest 10%. And so that's what it's based on. So when you're doing your tithing, what's really happening is, in faith, you are offering up to God that which has been provided by God, right? And so we're doing stepping up to tithing. We're not going to say, yeah, take 10% right now and give it to the church. Last week we did 1%. This week is going to be 2%. I guarantee you won't notice the 1% or 2%. Like, if your salary is $2,000 a month, we're talking about $20. Well, last week was 20. It'd be 40 this week. But I'm just saying, like, anybody can offer that much without it hurting them, right? So we're going to keep going with that. We're going to step up to tithing until we actually reach 10% of our income. All right. So given all of that, that's what we talked about last week. And our tool of the week, which my 10-week journey idea is that we have, instead of sites that we stop at, we are going to have points of interest. Let's just put it that way, on our stops. Now, last week, gratitude was it, because, we have something like 400 thoughts a minute, and luckily not all of them are creative. The preponderance of our thoughts is what creates. But in order to have fuel for the vehicle being, excuse me, the vehicle being our thoughts, in order to have fuel for that, we base it on emotion. And we can do it from negative emotion, which is not great, or we can do it from positive emotion. So last week, I had you establish a gratitude practice where you woke up each morning with gratitude on your mind. You expressed it however you want, taking gratitude breaks during the day, at lunch listing 5 things you're grateful for during that day, And then at night, 10 things that you were grateful for throughout the day, which could include those 5, and then 5 additional ones. But we're going to be expressing that gratitude all through this program. So last week was about establishing that practice. This week, we're going to talk about imagination. And I'm going to give you 2 things to do this week. One is to start a spiritual bank account, is what I call it. There was a program that Reverend Lynn and I did many, many years ago. And I can't remember what it was called. I think it was a mental bank account or something. I don't know. We saw it on some infomercial, and it sparked some stuff in my head about it. And so we bought the program and started utilizing it and as a tool. And what it is basically is you're keeping a check register just like you do with your actual cash. And you're giving yourself money for whatever spiritual practices you're doing. In our case, at that time, because it was called the mental bank account, because we had 3 big dogs, and nobody likes to pick up poop. And so each time we picked up a pile of poop, we would give ourselves like $100 in this check register. Now, the reason this is so powerful is because our mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. Imagination plays a big role in everything that we do in the creative process. So, for instance, if you go to a movie and you know that the characters are fiction, you know it's not real, and yet your body starts reacting. You cry at the love scenes, or you get in fear if it's a chase scene or something like that. Your body starts responding to all of that because your mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. As a matter of fact, Disney made a whole bunch of money on that idea. They took this pest, a mouse, and turned him into a hero. And our imagination let us believe that he was really special. And so now there's an entire industry based on Mickey Mouse, right? And so we changed our perception of this rodent. And because we did that, he became a fun, cute little thing that we liked. And so we're going to be using that same principle as we step through this process over the next 10 weeks. Because using the spiritual bank account, what we're doing is for every time you attend church during this program, you give yourself $100 in your spiritual bank account. Every time you do one of your spiritual practices, so every time you express gratitude, $100. Every time you tithe, step up to tithing, you give yourself $100. You see what I'm saying? So what we're doing is we're telling our mind that we actually have this money in our bank account. And that begins a process that allows us to actually experience that in our little r reality. The big R reality becomes the little r reality. And so this week you're going to start using your spiritual bank account. And you can put whatever sum of money you wish in the beginning balance column, or you can do it with just saying 0 and start from there. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're training your mind to believe that you are actually earning all of this money and that the balance increases as you go along. So that's the first one that we're going to do. But before you actually start that, I want you to define for yourself what prosperity is to you. Now, prosperity for me and prosperity for you may be totally different things. I got this lesson very early on when I was still just a student. And I had this friend whose family is one of the founding families in Colorado. And I met with her for lunch one day, and she was crying over the fact that she only had $300,000 in her bank account. And it struck me because I had minus 10 in my checking account. It struck me that it doesn't matter how much the money actually is. It's what your mental concept of money is. In her family, if you don't have millions, you're poor. In my experience, just having a few extra dollars is poor. You know what I mean? So it's really important that we define for ourselves what the word prosperity means to us. Several years ago, our organization had a consultant come in and trying to get everybody on the same page. And they sent out this values worksheet to practitioners and ministers and staff members and board members and members of the congregation. And they said, take these 100 values and define 10 of them and put them in the order that you think of importance. Prioritize them. And what was interesting is that they found nobody could agree on what 10 core concepts, really, what 10 values we all shared, right? And I started thinking about that because I had been involved in a PhD program that was online, or well, at home, whatever. They would send me product and I would do the classes. But I attended one in person, and that was in North Hollywood. And it was called Master Values. And we started talking about values and how different they are for each person, and assigning them a priority and reassigning a priority, and watching the difference that happened in our lives. So when we took this worksheet and did all of that as an organization, I realized what was going on. And we did our one in our church. We couldn't agree on 10, so we had 8. But it was 8 that we could agree on in the order that they should be in. And so I think that it's very, very important for us to really define for ourselves what prosperity is. My friend Susan, for example, $300,000 was not enough money. For most people, $300,000 would be a lot of money. In my case, my goal is to have a house in Florida that's paid for, and maintain the house that I have here so I can go between the two. And so as I work this program, that's what I'm going to be working on. Now, not everybody's going to want a house in Florida. Some people are going to want, I don't know, a villa in Switzerland. Who knows? Who knows what a car or a boat, or it doesn't really matter. Whatever it is that makes you feel like you're thriving versus surviving. Because this program is all about thriving. And so, as I say, if you participate in this program, including the tithing, if you fully participate at the very end, we will give you a Thriver's license and a copy of my book. So that's your incentive to keep going with this, if you don't have enough personal incentive to change your life. But I digress. But we're going to be using tools throughout this program that are going to help you with that. And so because we already put in the GPS where we are coming from, now we need to put in the GPS where we're going to. So defining prosperity is very important. And to pick a goal that you're working towards, just one, and stick with it through the program, you will find an amazing process happen. For instance, one of the people that took my workshop in the church, actually, based on my book, wanted a, what is the name of that car? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, so she did all the work to get this car and she got one. And so that's kind of what we're doing with all of this. So first, defining what prosperity is. Now, the second part of defining prosperity is also knowing your own gift order. Now, not everybody knows their gift order, so you're going to have to play with all of this until you figure it out. But we're going to be using visualization. Now, I have a caveat here because when I first wrote my book, when I finished it, I had a friend, Dr. Margaret Stannard, who's no longer with us, that was editing it for us. And I'm a feeler, so and then my second gift order is vision. Now, what that means is, how do I take in information, right? And how do I learn? And so I use a lot of visual words. Well, Margaret had nothing in the visual. Hers was like down on the list, like 4. And so she objected to every word that I said that was a visual word. So when I talk about visualization, please understand it is not a picture. It can be a picture. If you're a very visual person, it will be a picture. If you're an audient person, you're going to get sounds. If you are prophetic, it will be just knowingness. You won't know where it came from. Now, I'm a feeler, so I get, I learn best through feelings. And when I get information, I get feelings first, and then I have to learn to decipher those. Because I remember there was a day when I would walk into like a business meeting, for example, and I would feel the tension in the room and just assume that everybody was mad at me, right? Because I didn't understand what my gift order was, and I didn't understand that I was just feeling tension. And I had to learn to use my other gifts to interpret what I was feeling. Once I did that, then I could see the looks on people's faces, right? I could hear the sub-conversations going on, and I had a knowingness about what basically was going on. So based on just feeling alone, I assumed that they were all mad at me. Most of them were just unhappy with their jobs. And so it's important for us to note that when we're doing visualization, we may or may not be focusing on a picture. We might be focusing on a feeling. We might be focusing on a sound. We might be focusing on a knowingness, right? But we'll have to play around with that until we figure that out. I took a psychic gifts class where I learned it. And it was so beneficial for me to know what my gift order was so I could utilize the information better and learn to analyze it using all of my gifts. So that's the caveat here, is that I don't necessarily mean a picture when I talk about this. So we are going to, I'm going to have you just close your eyes briefly now, if you would like to do this. And I just want you to get a concept for what it feels like, looks like, sounds like, the knowingness about what is prosperity for me. So ask yourself this question. Remember, you're asking the God within you, just like we do with visioning. What does prosperity mean to me? And just allow yourself, I don't need an answer. I just want you to get that answer for yourself. And just sort of get a concept for, does it feel a certain way? If so, what is that feeling? Me being a feeler, I feel what it's like to sit in my Florida room in the, for those of you who don't know what a Florida room is, it's like an outdoor room with furniture, and then outside of that is a swimming pool. But the fans are going, and I feel the air moving, and I feel the coolness of the furniture, and I feel the warmth of the Florida sun, the atmosphere. If I utilize my visual gifts, I would see what all of that looks like. Or I might hear the bubbling of the hot tub, or I might hear the fan, or I might hear what it's like to have a lot of money or to have the goal that I'm looking for. Whatever prosperity is to you, I want you to just sink into that right now and play with your gifts. Is it a feeling? Is it something you're hearing, something you're seeing? Is it all of that? And let yourself define your own prosperity right now. Just take this moment to do that. Okay, you can open your eyes now. You're going to do this kind of as a definition of your goal in your prosperity. And then based on that goal, you're going to do a visualization. Whatever the end goal is, that's what you're going to visualize. And again, not necessarily a picture. Could be a feeling, could be a word that just pops in your head. It could be a sound. Professional athletes and successful business people have used visualization for a very long time to accomplish goals that they set out. And so we're going to use that same tool every single day. We're going to visualize what it's like when we reach our goal that shows us that we're prosperous. What does it feel like to be prosperous? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What is the sound of it? And you're going to do that every single day. That's going to be your spiritual practice this week. That's the tool we're going to utilize. Besides the mental bank, a spiritual bank account. We're going to utilize those two tools to implement our imagination and get that process going. In the creative process, imagination is very important because your mind doesn't know the difference between fact and fiction. So using fictionalized material, we are going to train our mind to believe it is so. And how we do that is through visualization, right? So that's going to be your homework this week. You're going to have two pieces of homework. One is to begin using your spiritual bank account. I don't think I even have a form for that. It's just a standard check register. And you can actually use the one from your bank. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to be recording every time you do your visualization. You're going to give yourself $100. Every time you do your gratitude, you're going to give yourself $100. Now, in a day, just doing the gratitude work alone, that's at least $300, at least, if not more than that. You're going to give yourself $100 for being here this morning. You're going to give yourself $100 if you do your step up to tithing this week. You're going to give yourself $100 every time you do any of your spiritual practices. And as we go through this program, that's going to add up to quite a lot. And the idea is that you are seeing that number grow in the spiritual bank account. And as it grows, we are going to begin to experience it in the physical realm, because we have said, this is how much I have, right? So that's the idea behind all of this, is to actually see it, feel it, know it, know it, hear it, and be able to reproduce what it is we're doing in our spiritual practice in the physical realm. And so let me make sure that I don't have everything here. I want you to think about, like, when you put money away for a rainy day, what you're really saying to your mind is that there's going to be a rainy day and I'm going to need that money. So we're not going to do that. All right. I think I've covered everything. Wow, I'm really swimming through this real fast today. Okay, I guess we're going to get off a little early this week, since last week we went over a few minutes. So will you practice that with me today? Will you work with your spiritual bank account and give yourself $100 for each spiritual practice that you do? By the way, you can give yourself $100 for doing your spiritual bank account. Just saying, because it's part of your spiritual practice. This week, you're going to step up to 2% of your income. So when we get to that portion at the end where we ask you to contribute, you're going to go ahead and put in your 2%. And you're going to do visualization every single day, as well as practice your gratitude. Again, we're not stopping the gratitude. That's going to continue for the entire 10 weeks. Hopefully, it will continue for the rest of your life, because that is the most powerful spiritual practice you can do in terms of manifesting, because it's like a magnet that draws to us what we already have created in mind. It draws it to us in the physical realm. Will you do that with me this week? Okay, let's have a prayer. My goodness. I now turn my awareness to the infinite power, the infinite presence, the infinite life, God, to that place within me that knows beyond human understanding just how powerful, how beautiful, how amazing God really is. And this is where I find myself, in the midst of God, my very essence, my very life, my very being. It is who and what I am, and every thought, every action, every deed is guided and led by the wisdom of the ages that flows through all of life equally. I know the same truth is so for each member of the team that God has provided. For Oz and for Karen and for Tina and for Elaine. Because that same wisdom of the ages flowing through all of life equally flows through them, instructing, leading, and guiding to the highest and best good for all. I know the same truth to be so for anyone who is listening to this right now. All being one and all being connected, I do know that that same wonderful essence of God, that ancient wisdom of the ages, flows through all of us so powerfully, so beneficially. I know that every thought, action, or deed is guided and led by this same wisdom of the ages through us. For we are connected by it through Vincent. Mitakuye Oyasin. All my brethren, we are related. So I bless this coming week. I know that all of us experience, number one, what we experience prosperity as we define that for ourselves. We practice that visualization, and as we practice that visualization, more and more evidence of the truth of God shows up. We begin to experience through our spiritual bank account, we begin to experience inflows into our physical bank account. We begin to experience what it means to be the creator, the co-creator of our reality. Because our imagination takes over. And we begin to see the results of that imagination flow through our physical bank account as well. So I know this week is filled with amazing miracles on so many levels. We revel in it. We let it flow through us. We let it bubble up to the surface. Because that is our divine inheritance. In this new reality, I know that anyone who's dealing with any kind of issue is blessed as well. I just pull back the veil and reveal the truth of God here in that situation. I call it forth for them as good and very good, and I receive it in their names as done. As I do this, my heart fills with gratitude to know this is so, to be of service in this way. And so I just let it be. And so it is. Now is our opportunity to receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings, and your opportunity to, with a feeling of gratitude, circulate your prosperity. So in a moment, I'm going to have you go with me to, I'm getting better at this, but it's still taking me a little bit. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to go to www.oasiscsl.org. And there you're going to find an offering affirmation. I'm going to have you say it with me, whether you're in real time or later on. And underneath that is a Contribute Now button. And I just want to briefly say something about Contribute Now before we actually do that. Contribute Now means two things. One, we have a vision of a healed world, and that's global. We already have people from Philippines, India, Bangladesh. There's a couple of other places I can never remember. And the UK, which is either Great Britain, England, I don't know what you want to call it. The Netherlands, which is Holland, and Germany. We'd like to grow that population, both in Europe and here, and in India and all of that. And that takes money, unfortunately. In order to market so that everybody gets this message, we have to do that, including the United States. We want to make sure we grow that population as well. But our mission to get there is to heal the world one person at a time. In order to do that, we need to get our message out in front of as many people as possible. And so that's what you're contributing to, is the mission. Now, on a personal level, what you're doing by stepping up to tithing is you're creating prosperity in your own life, because you're invoking the law of circulation, which we talked about last week, where we were taking breaths in and taking more breaths in and taking more breaths in, and realizing that we can't take in breaths without letting some of it out. And that's the way prosperity works as well. So when I ask you to go there and click on that Contribute Now button, you're doing those two things. You are assisting us with our mission to get to our vision, and you are co-creating your own reality of prosperity as well. So, all right. Please go with me now, whether that's in real time or later on, to www.oasiscsl.org. About 2/3 down the page is our offering affirmation. Please say that with me. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is. Hit that Contribute Now button, implement your own prosperous way, and help us with our mission to get to our vision. We have this wonderful team of licensed practitioners from coast to coast who serve our church in 3 different ways. One is what Oz does every week, which is being practitioner of the day, where he does the invocation and the benediction, and then he's available at the end for our 1-minute miracle, which is not a time for counseling, but it is a time where you can share with him whatever challenge you're experiencing, and he will stop, drop, and pray with you right then and there. You reach out to him through video chat. If he doesn't answer right away, it means he's on with someone else, and he will be available at some other point where you can do the same. The second way that our practitioners support our center is doing physical prayer for any prayer requests that people have every day for a week. So if you would like prayer for something, put it in the comments section. If you don't want it to be public, you can DM me, and I will make sure our ministry of prayer gets it. Now, I had this vision in 1998 of practitioners marching in and taking charge. So we like to call them the God Squad. And so if you would like prayer for something to get the God Squad working on it, you can put it in the comment section or DM me, and I'll make sure the God Squad has it. The third way our practitioners serve is by offering spiritual guidance by appointment for a fee. Now, at the moment, it's only Oz. And so what you would do is reach out to Oz by messenger Facebook Messenger, and let him know that you would like a session for spiritual guidance, and he will let you know how to pay for it. I don't get involved in that. Each practitioner has their own business, so they determine what payment form they're going to use. Some use PayPal, some use Venmo, Cash App, Wise, even Zelle. And I don't know what Oz uses. It doesn't matter. Just let him know you would like that. He'll let you know how to pay for it. And then he will reach out to you by video chat at the appointed time. So definitely take advantage of this loving service our practitioners provide. All right. Then we have music by Reverend Fairy Elaine Silver. Her website, for some reason, doesn't allow her to tell you how to pay for it. She runs around the country singing and playing guitar. So she carries those CDs in her car with her, or her RV, depending on where she is and what she's doing. And once you pay for it, she's very good at making sure you get it right away. You can only buy her music through her CDs, but if you like any of the music that you've been hearing, you definitely want to get some of this. She has wonderful music. She is also available on Spotify. And even you can say, Alexa, play blah, 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 whatever song it is. And so just so you know, that's available too. All right. The other one is Karen Drucker. Now, her website does work. You can pay for it right then and there. You can buy it by the song, by the CD. You can buy it by karaoke file. You can even get the songbook, which has the lyrics to the songs in case you want to learn how to sing them. And some of her songbooks actually have American Sign Language in case you wanted to learn the sign language for that song. All right. Then we have Brooks and Bailey, who are two ladies who create jewelry. Now, they have all kinds of jewelry, but one of my personal favorites is this bracelet that I got 6 years ago. It has a circle and a bar that goes through it as the clasp. And for those of you who know me, you know that I lose bracelets very easily. And this bracelet has only slipped off my hand like twice because I got it caught on clothing. But other than that, it stays on, which is a miracle for me. All the proceeds go to Rocky Mountain Lab Rescue, which is definitely a worthy cause. And you can find them through email at brooksandbailey0307@gmail or on their Facebook page. Now, if they're going to have a booth at an event, I always try to make sure that I repost that. But the main thing that I like that they do is they have mala bead necklaces and bracelets. Now, the Hindus and the Buddhists use it to do their chants. So they move one bead at a time as they do their chant. I think this is an excellent tool for when we get to the affirmation portion of this program, because not that 100 is a magic number, but 100 makes sure you've said it enough times that it sinks in and becomes a reality. So I use mala beads. They're perfect for that. I move one bead at a time, say my affirmation. The necklace has 108 beads. The bracelet has 54, so you would use the bracelet twice. This one is amethyst, so it's $60, or it was $60 when I got it 6 years ago. And then she has they have the other gemstones that are, 35 and up. So definitely check them out. The bracelets, I believe, are $15 to $25, but don't quote me on that. So definitely check those out. Everything that I've mentioned it is a great gift to give to yourself or someone else. So definitely check all of this out and buy a gift. I'm going to turn this over to Oz right now.
And I know that God's presence is right here, right now, wherever and whenever we are. So during the week, bask in the presence of God, knowing that it is all good and very good, and that our visualizations may be limited, but God's view is unlimited and has the bigger picture and can create even bigger and better things than we could possibly conceive. I give thanks for all these things, knowing they are good and very good, and I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Oz. And thank you all for being here on a Sunday morning. I know there's 1,000 things you could be doing, and you were here with us, which we really appreciate. We invite you to, for the next 8 weeks, join us at 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time, USA time. As we continue this program, we have 8 weeks left. But even after the program, we hope you will stick around because our programming, I believe, is quality. So with that being said, have a great week. Stay safe. We love you. See you next week.